hiring and the things you should be doing before you hire your first employee. My name is Tony Cameron with TLDR Accounting, and we provide tax and accounting services to small business owners and therapists in private practice. Hiring is a huge step, especially when it's your first hire, and making sure that you do everything correct leading up to that is very, very important, right? It's one of the things that we always warn our clients about, that if you're going to hire someone, let us know and provide us some lead time, at minimum 30 days, right? And depending on your situation, we might even need 60 days. So there are some things you really need to keep in mind before you're hiring. The first off is take a look at your accounting system. So if you're still using Excel in your accounting, that's where you're keeping track of your income and expenses. At this point, you should really make the switch to an accounting software. So QuickBooks, fantastic. It's easy to use. If you don't want to do it, we can then talk about outsourcing the actual accounting work. At the very least, have someone help you set up QuickBooks Online, walk you through it, and then maybe you're good to go. But you want to keep track of your accounting in a software, because recording payroll is complex. It isn't just as simple as, I paid employee A $1,000, so $1,000, right? It's more complicated between, taxes taken out, Medicare, Social Security, all of that. So step one, make sure you have an accounting software and make sure you're keeping up on your accounting. So one of the things is you should be taking care of your accounting monthly. If you're not taking care of your accounting monthly and you're going to be hiring on employees, the question becomes are you keeping a close enough eye on your cash flow to make sure that you don't bounce payroll? You don't want to bounce payroll. So step one is accounting system. We generally recommend QuickBooks Online. It tends to work well, but if you need any help with that, just let us know. Step two is, how are you going to actually run payroll? A lot of old school firms do it by paper. I don't recommend that. I recommend that you use a payroll software or a payroll service. So the big names in the brand, tend to be ADP, any of those. We don't tend to work with them. We tend to use Gusto. It's a fantastic provider. It makes things super simple for onboarding employees, direct deposit. It's really nice, right? You can send an offer letter to employees through it. It's great. Check it out. It's fantastic. We don't tend to recommend QuickBooks Online for payroll. Now, I know we recommend QuickBooks Online for your accounting and bookkeeping. That's great. The payroll, it's okay. It isn't what we recommend. It isn't as easy to use as Gusto, and they don't have as much help available. Like if you have a problem with your payroll, you're going to be on the phone for a while with QuickBooks Online. So step two was setting up payroll. Step one was setting up accounting and making sure your accounting system is good to go. Step three is compensation. Before you start hiring or interviewing, you should already have a compensation package put together about what you're going to pay this person. And a compensation package isn't just, you're going to get paid $25 an hour. Compensation includes things like retirement, parking passes, education reimbursement, gym membership, anything like that is all part of the compensation package. And you want to make sure you bring it all together in one place, because while you are seeing if the employee is a good fit, the employee should be seeing if the employer is a good fit, right? So while you're checking them out, they're going to be checking you out. And part of that is, what does the compensation package look like? So one of the things with the compensation package is, if your accounting is up to date on a month-to-month basis, if you hired someone, then you know exactly how much you're going to be out of pocket over the next couple of months, and you can start looking at your plan and projection with bringing on this employee. So compensation packages are important. You should put together, your minimum you're willing to pay, your maximum you're willing to pay, and have all that drafted out so you know all of that before you start going to look for someone, because having all that in a row is going to be key. Other things you should be thinking about. So training and processes. How do you do what you do is what makes your company special, right? So you provide therapy services, You provide telehealth through a certain way. Maybe you have different methods your company uses. Maybe you take certain insurances. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're all private pay. All of that factors into what makes you good at what you do. And you need to have a way that is documented for your new employees to provide them training so they do things the same way you do them. That could be as simple as the CRM you're using. Maybe you're using Simple Practice or Theranost, that you make sure that your new employee goes through that training and they know how to update and document everything from their sessions. This is also includes things like how to use their email, onboarding of the employee, so making sure all their paperwork is sent out. You want to have all those processes and training documented before you hire. Make sure that you set up your payroll provider ahead of time, because that's going to take time. So if you don't have employees already or payroll is not set up, you're going to have to get new licensing numbers from the state you're involved in. If you're in Washington, that's going to take, 3 to 6 weeks potentially for you to get those numbers so you to then run payroll, right? Because you need a revenue ID, you need to contact the Employment Security Office, like all of that you need to go through and do. And so you need some lead time for it. So if you've never had employees before, you're not an employee of your business, you need more lead time than if you already have payroll set up and all of that's good to go. One of the other big things besides your processes and making sure you're good to actually hire someone is how are you going to evaluate your employees, and is that all documented? So during the hiring process, you can be like, these are the KPIs we're looking at. KPIs are key performance indicators. And this is how you're going to be evaluated on if you're providing a good job or not, right? Because that's part of them coming to work for you is they need to make sure that they can hit those bars and that it's perfect fit for them and that they are a perfect fit for you and you're good to go, right? Like it's what defines your business from someone else's business. I know I covered a lot here, but hiring is a huge life event for your business, and you want to make sure that you do it correct before you start getting into the process of evaluating candidates. So setting up all this ahead of time is the number one priority you should have. Let your accountant know with some lead time that you're going to hire someone, and they can help walk you through all of this. Hopefully you found this helpful. If so, subscribe below.